So I have a YJ frame, I have a TJ tub, I have a CJ front clip, and I have the Bronco motor transfer case.
What axles?
Ford 9-inch rear and an HP 44 front.
The Dirt Drive Podcast, guys. I'm here with Bernie Gardula. He is, what's your position here?
So I'm the manager of Rausch Creek Offroad Park. I run all the day-to-day operations, and I do all the off-site events. I also take care of all the events that are on-site, any of that kind of stuff.
So the off-site events like the one you guys had last weekend at
PA Jeeps.
Yeah, that looked like a cool event, the All Breathes Jeep show at Carlisle.
Yep, correct.
How'd that go?
Awesome. Yeah, it went great. I also do Wildwood Jeep Invasion. I do the sand course for them.
Okay.
We're working
That's
on
in New Jersey?
New Jersey, yeah, Wildwood. And then we're working on some other new shows for them also.
Nice.
Should be coming out here soon.
So you're a busy man.
Yes.
How'd you get into running an off-road park?
Just by luck. Honestly, just by luck. I've always been into the wheeling scene. I grew up with the four wheels and dirt bikes. I got back into it when I moved to PA in '96.
Okay. Where were you before PA?
Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're a North Atlantic guy.
Yeah, I'm a masshole. So I got back into it with the Jeeps, trucks, and all that kind of stuff. And when Rausch acquired the Northeast property, they had put up a post on back when the forums were alive and kicking, that they were looking for helpers to come and help them cut some trails and do stuff. I started working part-time. I did that on top of a regular 40-hour job for 5.5 years.
Damn.
I was up here most of the weekends, having some fun and doing stuff. And this will be my 7th year running it.
Okay.
So Kyle Buchter was the one that was running it back then. He started his own business with the off-road consulting and training.
Yeah, I tried to get in contact with him. He's a busy man. I tried to get him scheduled for a podcast, and he's a busy guy. Yeah,
I was just with him all weekend down at PA Jeeps at that show also. So he started doing his training classes, and everything took off and went crazy. So he ended up pulling out of here and doing that full time.
Yeah. That's awesome, though.
So then that opened up the spot, and then I took over, and this has been my 7th year doing it all. Yeah,
because you are, as far as I'm concerned, you are Mr. Rausch Creek. If you have any questions, any concerns about the park, it's you.
Most people think I own the place.
Yeah, I assumed that until I met you a few years ago, and I talked to you, and I'm like, how the hell do you not own the place? Right. So is the park owned by who owns the park?
It's actually owned by a corporation now and stuff like that. So it's kind of a pain, but that's where some of our numbers and all that stuff comes from.
Yeah, I assumed like it was AOA and owned by the local jurisdiction, the local county.
No, it is privately owned. So that's the difference between us and AOAA. Plus, we only do Jeeps and trucks here. Yep. We don't allow the four wheels and side by sides. We have a separate park that does that. That's the Trail Riders Park.
Yeah, that's what makes this park of the parks I've been to. This park is my absolute favorite because it's one of the only parks that doesn't allow the side by sides. And those side by sides and ATVs, they rip around. Yeah. You never know when they're coming.
It definitely makes it a lot nicer not having to deal with that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that'll come here just for that. Plus, I can get you on some gnarly trails right out of my parking lot.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and your trails are, my home park is the Cove. I'm Northern Virginia. Okay. Trails are not marked. You have to know the place if you're going to wheel there. Here, the trail marking system is unbelievable, and you guys are on. You're on.
Thank you.
Everything. All your stuff is.
We try
on all the mapping services. Bless you.
We definitely try for sure. I have a new machine to trim the trails that we've been working on getting set up, so it'll make it a lot easier. Basically, can drive right down the trail and cut the whole side of the.
Is it a tractor with the bat wings or something?
It's actually on a Jeep.
Oh shit, that's cool.
So the helicopters they fly with the thing that hangs down to cut the power lines?
We had one flying down my road the other day because I actually live in Bluemont, Virginia, but the nearest little town is Pine Grove. Oh, just like here.
That's awesome.
So. Yeah, we had a helicopter with the razor blade, the saws flying.
Well, I have a smaller version of that with its own power plant and everything, and it's mounted on the front of a Jeep.
What type of Jeep?
Grand Cherokee.
Okay. Yeah. Because you're a Grand Cherokee man, too.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. How'd you stumble into that little bastard child life?
Because the XJs, the dumpsters, are too small for me.
Okay.
They're not the 40 yards, so it's a tight fit. And I don't like that confined feeling.
I'm a dumpster man. I just got the two-door, but I've got a white Cherokee at home that's long-armed and locked and 6.5 inches of lift, and I beat the shit out of.
Yeah, I've been through a bunch of the Grands. I got into the ZJs and the WJs. Very comfortable. They're fun to wheel, and they do very well. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think if I have a next rock crawler build, if the Cherokee ever falls apart, because it's the 4-liter AW4, the 8 1/4 is holding up unbelievably. Yep. The Dana 30, high pinion Dana 30 is holding up. If my Cherokee ever falls apart, I'll build a WJ.
Yeah. It's amazing. You know, people say, "Oh, you can't put 35s on a 30. You can't do this. You can't do." Yeah, you can. If you're simple with it and you're not beating the balls off of it, it's not as bad.
Yeah, my XJ has 33s on it still. Yep. But I'm going to go up to 35s eventually.
Yep.
Someone's vibrating.
Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
No, you're good.
So the other thing, the reason why I like the Grand Cherokee is you can get the V8s in them.
Yeah.
So, you know, the ZJs had the 5.2s, WJs had the 4.7s, which aren't as good of a motor because they're very temperamental, but they definitely have the power and you don't have to swap in a motor.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can roll down the trail with heated seats on, which is...
Yes, that too.
Heated seats in a $5,000 vehicle.
Yes.
Which is unbelievable.
Yes, absolutely.
That's my jaw. Is like... I've been the shitbox guy. I had in high school. I drove a CJ7, which wasn't a shitbox. It was a nice CJ7.
Right. And now you wish you had that.
Now, I wish I still had it. Well, the reason I don't have it is because I got into off-roading and I put 35s on it. Never re-geared. Never did anything. Okay. Blew up 4 transmissions.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Sold it to a local shop for work on another car I had.
Oh okay.
So, yeah, I missed that truck, but then I got my Cherokee, and it's still a shitbox. Yep. So the white 2-door is my first actual nice Jeep. It's actually technically it's my first Wrangler, and I'm loving it.
Nice. Yep. So and then in the process, with some of my ZJs, they don't last long when you do this all the time with them. So I ended up building a full-on buggy.
Oh, nice.
Pieces, parts from all kinds of things. I've had a lot of friends help me along the way. So
when did you build that?
Here in a shed.
When did you finish the build?
About 4 years ago, I finished it.
Okay.
It was. It took me almost 5 years to get it built.
Let me guess. LS Turbo 400.
Nope.
Really?
84 Bronco 302.
Oh hell yeah!
Carbureted.
That's awesome.
With a mechanical fuel pump. I ditched all the electronics in it. I put an HEI in it. 1 wire and a mechanical fuel pump, and the thing will run.
Perfect.
Yep.
That's all you need.
I took the motor transfer case right out of the Bronco.
I'm glad. So the 5.3 Turbo 400 is such a classic build because it's so reliable. But I'm at the Ultra 4 race this weekend.
That's what everybody's got.
It's every car, and it sucks to say it's boring, but it's boring at this point because you don't expect to see anything else.
I don't like boring.
Yeah.
I like to keep it real. I mean, this thing. So I have a YJ frame. I have a TJ tub, I have a CJ front clip, and I have the Bronco motor transfer case.
What axles?
Ford 9-inch rear and an HP 44 front. So it's a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
All the way through. Some really good friends of mine took it and they did the cage work for me. I had very specific things I wanted done to it, and they did a great job on it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, cage work is it poop pipe or is it DOM?
Oh no, it's DOM.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah,
good
this thing should be able to go down a hill on its top, no problem.
Yeah, my experience at the Cove, I've seen a lot of cages, and I've seen a lot of cages look really nice, but by the end of the weekend, after they've rolled a few times, they're all bent up.
Yep. Nope.
And I'm like, how do you manage to do that? How do you do that? They're like, oh, it's not DOM, it's Home Depot pipe. I'm like, Jesus Christ, why would you spend that much time making a cage look that pretty and use shitty material?
Yep. Yeah, because it's just gonna fail on you, and then you're gonna
get hurt.
Yep.
And then the 44 and the 9 inches, probably the best combination.
It's been great. The only problem I had at first was I kept blowing U-joints out, and once I started asking people about it, they were like, "Oh yeah, those ears are really thin." Mm-hmm. So they stretch, and then you drop out the caps.
We're using the factory shafts.
Yep.
Okay.
So Somebody suggested it's called almost alloy, and basically you put new shafts in, new joints, and there's a cap that you weld over the
I've seen those to hold it together, hold it tight.
I haven't had a problem since.
Yeah, I blew up some caps on Quorum at the Cove on my Dana 30, and I put carbon Dana 30 shafts in there. They're the chromoly or chrome moly if you're ever on the Facebook. That's my favorite.
And that's what I did too. I put the chrome mollies in it.
I didn't do the caps because I'm still not wheeling that hard. I like to be able to drive it on the trail at the end of every trip.
The problem is they're so thin on that 44. It didn't matter. I mean, even just an easy day out, I'd come back and I'm like,
you're starting to look at it doing the once over, and you're like, that's already fucked. The Comanche, my buddy Trevor, he'll be up here next week, and his Comanche isn't ready, but he's got a 4-liter, an AW4, a Ford 44, and a 9-inch in it too. And he got a screaming deal on him.
That's, like I said, I had a lot of friends help me and buy, sell. You know, I mean, I got less than $3,000 into this whole rig.
That's awesome. That's wild.
I did all the truss work myself. I built the trusses on the axles, and I set the axles, put everything in place. So.
Yeah, because you do a welding on site at the park. You help repair things. So are you a welder? You certified welder?
No, I'm not. And we don't. We can't help the people. But I have all the stuff here for them to
do it themselves, so that at least they can get off the trail or onto the trailer or down the road.
And I have a lot of spare parts and stuff too. Someone, call back, hey, do you have this tie rod? Do you have this? Do you have that? And a lot of times I'll have some of the stuff and help them.
I got to dig through that Cherokee you have because I need a brake booster.
Hey, there's one down there. I probably got a couple of them.
I was coming down. It was about a month and a half ago with Blue Mountain Jeep Alliance. I was coming down a pretty steep grade, and all of a sudden I start hearing a hissing.
Oh,
and then it revs up because it loses
the vacuum.
It loses vacuum. So it's accelerating as you're pushing the brake pedal
in low range, so it'll just drive right through it.
It was so bad. So that's my next thing. My Cherokee, if I can get one, my Cherokee actually may end up here next weekend.
Okay, cool.
I know my trailer will be here. I won't. I took the weekend to be up here this weekend.
That way we can go cover the race and see that.
It's my first one.
It's always it's fun. Well, so we used to hold the Ultra 4.
Okay.
One of the qualifiers here. We did that for almost 5 years, I think, up there. So we were the only East Coast venue for them. Then it went away for a few years, and now they've
this is the first year back. Were they here last year?
Last year they did. I think it's been off and on the last couple of years. So,
it's a wild event. I mean, last night I went to bed in my little tent next to my two-door Jeep, next to a few race cars. Woke up this morning and there was race cars all around me. It's
everybody rolled in last night probably.
Are you going to make it out this weekend at all?
Unfortunately, I probably won't. I was hoping to be able to make it up there, but
too much shit to do around here.
Too much going on. Yeah, it's kind of hard when you run a place. It kind of puts a strain too with your life. I mean, I work weekends. We're open Friday, Saturday, Sundays. My days off are during the week, which is nice because I can take care of all my stuff, family stuff, all that, and be able to do things. But
father of two daughters makes it hard to do weekend things with them when they're out of school and doing things. How do you manage that and running the park, being a dad?
I have a lot of good people that help me here at the park, so I can take time off, but I try to limit what I do. So,
are your girls into the whole Jeep thing?
My one daughter does. She actually works here in the office, Abby. So a lot of people know her too, and it's pretty cool that she helps out and stuff. My other daughter, she could care less about it.
Hey, you get 50%. That's good. Are you guys pretty close to the park?
Yeah. Actually, I only live 2 miles down the street now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Me and my dad bought a house together, so I can help take care of him as he gets older and stuff. So it's been nice.
So going back a little bit, how did you end up in Pennsylvania from Massachusetts?
One of my exes. We moved down. It's
classic story.
So I used to do woodworking.
Okay.
All the high-end custom. Like I couldn't even afford to do it for myself.
Like cabinets and shit.
I did a lot of curved and arch stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, I can do pretty good with my hands. And when I started looking into coming down here, I found out the industry was so much better than up in Massachusetts. And I jumped into a shop and within a year, I took over in the shop and took over the specials department. So,
do you still fiddle with it at all?
A little bit.
So you really are a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yes, yeah.
That's awesome.
I can do plumbing, I can do electrical, you name it. With my hands, I can do anything. With my brain, I'm limited.
So have you built a lot of cars? Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm very limited. I've learned all of this stuff through YouTube.
Right. Oh, YouTube's great, man. YouTube certified all the way.
Exactly. Have you, with your experience building cars and building Jeeps and stuff, have you built anything other than the buggy and WJs? Anything cool?
Not really. I mean, I fiddle around with stuff, and I've got DIY bumpers and any of that kind of stuff. So. Yeah, luckily, like I said, I got a lot of great friends, and I had a company that was going to build me a bumper, and I'm like, hey, I want to learn how to weld. All right, come on down.
Yeah,
and taught me how to weld, and from there I've been going.
Those are the best.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that. That's the one thing I can't do is I can do everything mechanical, but I can't weld for the life of me. It's boogers all day long.
Yeah.
So I know. I've talked to a bunch of people, and their advice is just buy a machine and start doing it.
Right.
But I know it's not a huge investment because you can get them. You can get like a Hobart or whatever.
And I'm telling you, we have a simple, easy 110 machine, and people are like, oh, that's only flux core and 110. And I tell you what, you'd be amazed, because then you got these other guys like, oh, this will be great.
Yeah.
And they blaze through 1/4 inch thick stuff, and it doesn't go anywhere. It's all in what you do and prep and get it ready. I also have the bigger machines. I have plasma cutter. I have everything here pretty much.
Nice.
I can pretty much do whatever.
Well, you built your whole Jeep here, right?
Yeah.
Or your whole Jeep
buggy,
Ford buggy thing.
Yep. And that's the nice thing is I have that stuff here, so it's easy for me to play around with it. I built a lot of the gates here too. As we started putting more gates in and doing stuff, built them myself. That way we could do whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
So makes it nice.
How does so I've been watching Motor Trend for my whole life.
Yep.
How does that work with like the celebrity interaction and having people coming in and out of the park like that? Have you got to know a lot of cool people and meet some? Yeah.
There's been quite a bit of good stuff that we've done.
Well, not to mention there's a Dana Spicer trailer in the.
Well, Zach Heisey, I know him pretty well over the years, stuff like that. So a lot of the companies. Clayton Offroad is a great company we've worked with and we know pretty well. Skid Row Offroad, they're awesome.
Yeah, they had a cool setup at the Carlisle Jeep. They had a Jeep on the tailgate showing the.
Yep. Yeah, that was so that was up at the Off-Road Consulting booth. So I helped Kyle get that up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was probably pretty sketchy to get up like that I guess you guys are probably pretty good at what you do. So
it took us a few times because it didn't want to cooperate with us.
Did you drop it at all?
3 times. Yeah, it was
on the tires or on the side?
Both. Nice. But we put our heads together and we came up with a collaboration and we just kept trying. It got to a point where we were determined to make it to be up on its back. So
what type of celebrity interaction or like anything like notable?
So one of the best things I've done, I think out of all of it was it 2 years ago? We filmed the opening for the Puppy Bowl here.
Oh shit, that's wild. That's not at all what I thought you were going to say.
So the best part of it is I actually drove the Subaru in the commercial.
Oh, that's cool. So you are yourself, you're a local celebrity, but you're also a national celebrity.
Yes. Yeah, you could say that, I guess. You'd never know it, but I could point to you the spots. They had so the ref guy that was on there, I got to meet him. I got to work with him, teach him how to drive and do some stuff because they had to do all their lines and stuff. But then for some of the stunts and for driving through the puddles and hitting certain things, they needed someone that could drive and know the park, and they asked me if I'd be interested.
Was it a Subaru commercial for the Puppy Bowl?
Yeah, so it was Subaru, Animal Planet, and Discovery Channel.
And who reaches out to you? Is it Subaru?
Usually it's the Discovery Channel.
Okay.
Usually it's the TV channel.
Yeah, because
you already have filming.
You already have a relationship with them because of all the Motor Trend stuff, I assume.
Right. Yeah, we've done the Hawk machines. When that show came out, we did some of that for them. They came up here a couple times. Light Bright Nation's been up here before, had them out for a couple days. It was pretty cool to chat with them and take them out. We've done testing with the new equipment. When the Ford Raptor came out, we had one of the first. Cool. We had one of the first Ford Shelby Raptors up here.
Did they reach out to you for the Bronco for the proving grounds? Because they got the Bronco.
They did talk to us, but they didn't come up here. Okay. We were one of the sites that were looked at for it, but we didn't get that.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
That seems like a big. I have yet to experience the Bronco off-rodeo. Yep. That seems like a big commitment by the park.
Yes.
That seems,
absolutely.
Seems pretty huge, and it seems like an almost daily thing where they're running around doing these showing off their vehicle. Right.
And it's got to be a certain thing set up, dedicated for them, and so it's understandable. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard. The people have been in here looking when the electric cars are coming out in the Jeeps, you know, they're like trying to find places to put charging stations.
Okay, so
we're not open every day, so.
Oh, they won't put stations in since
they won't put stations in because they're not open to the public.
Well, you think it'd be a draw to get their customers out here to use their 4x4
they can't be used all the time, so they won't do it.
And you're real close to the highway, so you'd have the Tesla in your parking lot every day.
Right.
And I know you pretty well. I don't think you want that.
No, we do actually. It's amazing to see the Rivians.
Oh, they're so cool.
They are, and they do very well off-road. Actually, it's pretty wild to see that stuff. So.
Yeah, I love watching off-road consulting on Instagram and everything, and seeing whenever they post a Rivian, I'm like, I want to learn more about this. Yep. I'd love to take one out.
Yeah,
because they're just such. As much as I am, like, I'm not anti-EV.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I don't think their time's here yet.
Yeah.
But I think for the marketplace of EV, I think that's by far the coolest one.
Absolutely. And it does so well. And my buddies that I have that are mechanics that do all this stuff, he's like, a bunch of them like, oh man, they're cool because it's instant on. The amount of torque and how quick they accelerate.
Right there, 100%.
Crazy.
Yeah, for me, it hurts me to say this, the next coolest EV has to be the Lightning.
Yeah.
Have you had any of those up here?
I haven't seen those.
Yeah, those aren't too off-roady, I don't think.
No.
I haven't seen any off-road modifications or anything.
But I'm a V8 guy. I like that power. And when we got a chance to run the Shelby Raptor up here when they first came, the dash black was 001. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
I mean, you know, we were 70 plus miles an hour through the park, and you know,
we don't advise that.
Yeah, no, there's a speed limit here. This was closed course stuff.
Yeah.
Back in the day too, when I first started, we used to do the Baja cars.
Okay.
We had a company that was in here, and we rented out the Baja cars.
Yeah, that's before the Ultra 4 stuff. I guess 2007 isn't really before it took off. Or not 2007, 7 years ago isn't really before the Ultra 4 stuff took off, because that was, 16, 17?
Yeah, yep.
I guess it was just getting started. I didn't find out about that until...
Well, the Ultra 4's been around. Well, I started here in 2010.
Okay.
And
they started in 07.
They did one here, I think, in 2009, I believe.
Okay.
And then from there, we went about 5-6 years with them.
It wasn't until those cars didn't get popular until a few years ago. Yeah. So it was always that Baja stuff, the two-wheel drive Baja trucks and all that stuff.
So we had the two-wheel drive Subaru motor. I think it was a Class C car that we were renting from Baja. These were actual.
Oh, nice.
These were actual cars that had been in the Bajas.
Score International and all those guys.
Yeah, it was a company called Wide Open.
Okay.
And they do it down Ensenada, down that way, and a local guy up this way had gotten into it and got a hold of some of the cars to rent out, and so we did that for a few years up here.
Nice.
So I was one of the guys that did a lot of that stuff. If you couldn't drive a stick shift, then you could always come up and do ride-alongs. So luckily, I got to be one of the drivers for that, and I got pretty good at driving them.
Yeah, ripping around in those things was been a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Being a park manager and having to compete with other parks, do you get out a lot to parks across the country, parks regionally, and see what they're doing?
I do try and get out, but to me, it's not a competition.
Yep.
I don't compete against them. I work with them. There's plenty of everybody to go around.
Yep.
The industry is just phenomenal and crazy. AOA is up the street. You know, I mean, that's our direct competition.
There is 30 international quality or not 30, 3 international quality parks within 30 minutes of here. It's amazing.
And they all have their goods and they all have their bads. Mm-hmm. You know, my park's not perfect either. You know, there's always something that can be fixed and taken care of. But it's funny because there's a lot of people that, I'll go up to AOA for different things, or I see Dave up there a lot, and people think that we're against each other, and we're not.
People think that in
it's quite the opposite.
The media. I'm just entering the media sphere, like social media and podcasting and the YouTube world, and it's the same thing. It's everyone's like rising tide rises all ships. Right. It's cool to see that in the off-road park industry too.
And I'm not going to bash them. It's they have their qualities, I have my qualities, so we can all get along, and we can all. It's actually been better, I think, because now you got people that come into the area, and instead of just having to stay here or something like that, they'll go up there for a day, they'll come here for a day, that kind of stuff. So it works out. It gives more diversity. I think it brings more people in because you have more diversity also.
Yeah. That's what I love about this area is I've done it once where I bounced around. I did AOA and Rausch Creek in one weekend, and it was awesome. Yep. Because of that diversity.
I do keep track of a lot of the other parks and stuff like that. So, you got to see what's going on and what's happening.
So something that we've been dealing with up by us, and I know you guys have had it here too, is the cost of parks has gone up. Oh yeah. The cost of entry. Is that an industry? Is that like an industry-wide thing, or is that just because insurance rates are going up, or what's going on with that?
There's a lot of factors with it. The land, it's you see these warehouses going up all over the place.
I build them. I'm a building inspector, and I do data centers all day long, million square foot data centers all day long.
So you understand this, and more property is becoming harder to find. So now they're starting to consider properties that aren't as perfect label, and they take a little bit more work. So the more we can keep open, the better, keep them out of here. And, that way we can keep the park open. Yeah. Unfortunately, it all comes with a cost. Insurance has been crazy across the board with everything. Everybody I talk to, it's one of the killers.
Yeah, we do. We deal with big dogs off-road a lot, and that's one of Lisa's biggest problems is insurance. Is an arm and a leg. We got a buddy who runs an off-road consulting type business in the Shenandoah National Forest called Terra Overland, and I think he pays something like $10,000 a month in insurance. Right. Oh yeah. And all he does, he rents out his vehicles, but he also just has people as passengers. Yep. And it's ungodly how much insurance costs.
Oh, absolutely.
It's highway robbery.
And that's the thing. There's stipulations to it. You can't do this, you can't do that, stuff like that. And it's, just like when we do the Wildwood Jeep invasion down in New Jersey, the insurance for that's ridiculous too. And it's crazy. And you got to stay within certain stipulations. And that's why they bring us in to maintain and manage that, to keep everything under a certain control.
Yeah, it sucks it's... I know they're not trying to kill an industry, but it feels like they are. Right. It feels like these insurance companies are just sucking everyone dry for every penny, and then if you don't have them and something happens, then you're screwed because you're out millions of dollars because of lawyers.
Well, and that's the thing. There's a lot of people in this world that, I got hurt on your property, so I'm going to come at So it hurts. I always have a saying, stupid hurts. And stupid hurts a lot of other people, not just them people.
Yeah, we have 3 acres where at my house we own 3 acres, me and my wife, and we've got posted signs just to say stay off because it's on you if you're here. Yep.
Make it known.
Yeah.
Yep. And my whole property is posted the same way to keep all the locals and the riffraff and everything out. And it's a sad world some days, but it's also a pretty good world. How long have you been doing this?
This is episode 62.
Okay. Awesome.
So, and we're doing weekly episodes. So just a year in 10 weeks.
Okay. Well, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun.
I'll have to dig up all your stuff now and start watching and passing around.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have an opportunity to meet a lot of cool people, and we're kind of diving into the kind of willingly and unwillingly. We covered a little bit of King of the Hammers. Okay. And people wanted more Ultra 4 stuff.
Absolutely.
So we're starting to cover a lot more Ultra 4 stuff.
Good.
It's a lot of fun.
It is, and it's crazy. There's a lot of great people in that, and a lot of great industries in that also. Yeah,
and we've met. I mean, we went to SEMA last year. We met a ton of cool people. We got some sponsors out there. I come from originally, I mean, I know my first car that I drove, my computer keeps going on and off. I think I got a bad camera. Yeah, it's definitely dead. My first car I know was the CJ7. But my first project car, because I mean, me and my dad worked on that from the time I was 8 years old.
Yep.
My first car that I was a part of purchasing was a Camaro.
Oh.
71 Camaro RS split bumper.
Oh, nice.
And I love the car. I still have it.
That's good.
But that community sucks. The muscle car community, I'm sorry if anybody here, if you're listening, you're obviously an off-roader. But the muscle car community is like horrible. Yep. There's nobody's helping each other from what I understand, from what like at the shows, and it's competitive and everyone's salty. Yep. So coming into the Jeep community, like when I did in 2016, 2017, I didn't even come in a Jeep. My first vehicle was a 2004 Silverado 1500.
Okay.
Well, I had put 4 inches of lift on it in 35s, and I beat the shit out of it at the Cove.
Yep.
I did that for a season and a half, and I realized it was unsustainable. Yep. So I bought my Cherokee.
Okay.
But the community here is so much nicer.
Yeah.
Everyone is willing to help out and everything. The one thing that I don't like, and I know, well, you have a bastard vehicle. Yep. The one thing I don't like is I feel like the Jeep community is toxic. Because Jeepers and Jeepers only. Right. I like off-roaders and off-roaders only. Not even off-roaders only. If you have a dual sport, if you have a Subaru and you're bombing around the woods, that's a big push that...
It's everything. It's off-roading. Yeah. It's not just Jeep. It's everything. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, because you have some of these Jeep groups that just don't like... You have a Bronco show up and they tell them to leave. Right. Why would you do that? Well, it's another friend. It's another friend. It's another person to go and wheel with.
There are some events that are specifically to the Jeeps. Yep. And I do deal with a lot of them. Some of them are actually in the process of getting the Bronco only stuff going. Yeah. Which will be nice. Hopefully next year we'll be part of some of that.
Yeah, that's one of the big pushes we have in our local community is when we do events, people always want Jeep events, and we're like, no, we're doing off-road events. Right. Like if we're doing like a cars and coffee, it's Toyotas, it's
everything,
it's Broncos,
anything's welcome.
Jeeps.
Absolutely.
We do brewery days, we do axe throwing events, and it's the Dirt Nerds off-road show. Right. So
nope, and that's the best way to do it. And unfortunately, yes, some of the newer stuff with the Jeepers, and they think my Jeep's better than yours. This that. This will rile a few people up too. Is I look at Jeeps, they're Skittles. They're all the same. They're just different colors. Yep. It just depends on what bolt-ons, what pieces, what parts. Obviously, you're going to have some of your custom guys, all that kind of stuff. But it's funny to, some people just take offense to it. It's a vehicle.
Yeah, it's a vehicle. It's for me. I've got a Jeep because my first car that I drove every day was a CJ7. From then, I fell in love with Jeeps. But as an adult now, I see the Jeep just as the best multi-tool. Yep. If I want to do something, I can jump in my Jeep. I know I can flex it out. Yep. I can pull off the sway bar links. I can put it in low range, turn on my lockers, and it's just the best multi-tool. Absolutely. It's not comfortable. It's not reliable. It's not really good. It's not great at anything. It's good at everything. Right. Right. So I keep saying that I just bought the 2-door. Yep. My next vehicle is going to be Toyota though. Yeah. Because at least for this, I'll always have a rock crawler. It'll always be a Cherokee or a unibody. My problem with the new ones is a 4-cylinder. Like you're putting 4 cylinders in Gladiator. The 4-cylinder turbos.
That thing ain't gonna last. Well, that's too much weight to pull. And then the max tow in the 3.6 is like 7,200 pounds. I'm like,
so much weight.
How long is that gonna last?
Yeah, I think it's gonna fall apart. I have a buddy that pulls in his max tow Gladiator. He pulls a tonned TJ. Yep. And I'm like, that's got to weigh like 5,000 pounds with that trailer. That Jeep has to be screaming. I
got my 2,500 Dodge for that.
Yeah. Diesel or?
Nope, 5.7 Hemi.
Okay. Yeah, I had the Duramax for a while. I had an LM7 Duramax.
That's one thing I never got into was the diesels.
I'm never getting into it again.
They're very expensive to fix because I know a lot of people that have them, and it's like, oh my God, it was a couple grand for this. I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't know them. I've never gotten into them, so I'll stay away from them because I can't fix them. Yeah. And that fixing in between is too expensive.
Yeah, I got into diesels because I thought I had goals of going out twice a month with my Cherokee. And if you're doing that much towing, the diesel's worth it.
I'd rather just get a big V8, get the 8 liters or something like that, or the V10s. And
well, so I had the LB7, and I was coming up here for crawling for cops 2 years ago, and I got the haze. We pulled over at a Sheetz to get lunch for the day or whatever. Fired it back up, and it was just a white cloud. So I bought the truck for $10,000. I put over the 3 years that I owned it, I put $6,000 into it, and then I sold it for $10,000. So I learned my lesson, and I got out of it for what I got into it for, but I just lost $6,000 in the process. So I don't think I'll ever own another diesel gun unless I actually get into the heavy duty 2-3 times a month towing. But I don't see that happening now because of
even then it's that's another big debate. You know, a lot of people are, you know, I'm sorry, I'll always do a gas motor.
Well,
no matter what.
If you want to go cross country, you go to California, you can't buy diesel next year. Which is wild. I can't believe that. They're gonna murder that whole state.
Yes, they are.
But I get the gas thing now. I had the 5.3 Silverados I had 2 5.3 Silverados, the 2004. Then I had a 14, and they did great. They just didn't do as great as I wanted them to. So instead of going up to the 2500 gas, I went up to the 2500 diesel, and I overshot. Yeah,
and the 2500 is not bad. I wish I had the 6.4 in it, a little bit more motor, but it does good. It'll still tow the car trail at 80 miles an hour, no problem.
My 5.3s did the same thing. It was just and the Duramax the trail wasn't there. It was amazing.
And I've gotten the chance to drive some towing a camper and stuff. I'm like, is there even anything behind us? Pulling these big hills going out of West Virginia is like, oh yeah, it's still back there.
Where have you wheeled in West Virginia?
A place called Down Burning Rock.
Okay, yeah, we've heard a lot. We've heard a lot about them.
I've been down there a bunch of times and stuff like that. I've never made it to Hatfield or any of them. Next year we're hoping to go down to Windrock, do a little bit of wheeling down there and check that out.
How was your experience at Bernie Rock? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun down there. A lot of good scenery and a lot of good views down there.
Yeah, I always forget the name of it. Good Evening Ranch is on my list. Very high on my list.
That's another one too. There's a lot of great places around.
Yeah, and they're popping up. I credit COVID. The one thing COVID did was drive the industry. It
drove it and it killed it. Because it's driving that side of the industry, but it's also killing the show side of it. A lot of vendors realize that, we don't need to go to these shows. We don't need to do as much with these shows. We can sell as much. So that's becoming harder and harder. All the shows we've been doing this year, vendors have been way down. Not even just a 10 by 10, you know what I mean? Just showing up with some stuff. So that's been a hard one too. But on top of that, it doesn't help that there's, a show every weekend. Everybody wants to jump on the scene. And so now it's hard, you're trying to raise money or do something.
Well, you also with the rise of the popularity of the sport, the recreation, whatever you want to call it, is you have all these smaller companies popping up that are all building different versions of the same thing. So it's kind of wild to see that, and now who were they? 4 Wheel Parts and Trans-American just got absorbed. So and they were absorbing a lot of the smaller companies. They were absorbing, and then all of a sudden, bam, they got absorbed, and everything changed. And there's Rugged Ridge got absorbed. I just found that out. So there's a lot of companies that all these bigger conglomerates they're buying them up and pulling them under their umbrellas. It's harder. So I was trying to get Kevin from Offroad Consulting. Kyle. God damn it. I've done that all day. I was trying to get together with Kyle from Offroad Consulting. I saw an Offroad Consulting Jeep in your lot, and I was hoping it would be him. And I was hoping that I could grab him after we were done, but it's one of his guides. He's a tough guy to get a hold of. Yes, absolutely. Really tough.
So what he's actually grown to do is he's gotten in with big companies like Verizon and the electric companies, and he actually goes out and trains all of their workers
how to drive on the
power lines, how to use the winches correct. Like they're like, oh my God, our guys are causing $10,000, $20,000 in damage to the vehicles every month. Every couple of months. We need help.
Yeah, yeah. That's one thing. I'm a fireman. That's one thing. Being in the off-road community, I've learned that in the fire department, we know how to use the winches to stabilize, and that's it.
Right.
These guys have no idea how to operate.
Right. It's amazing what you could make a winch do and how you can
make a Cherokee stand up on its ass.
Exactly.
For a weekend.
Exactly. And that took some rigging when we finally got it because it didn't want to cooperate. And I think we had 4 or 5 lines on that to hold it.
Do you have a favorite winch company? Not obviously not endorsed by Rausch Creek, but do you have a favorite winch?
Honestly, I've used a lot of the Quadratech winches, and they've worked very well. The Smittybilts are really good too. Everybody's coming out with the wireless ones now, so
yeah, I'm sold.
I just picked up a Rugged Ridge one, so we'll see how that works. I've never had one of theirs, but it was synthetic and it was wireless, and I couldn't pass up the deal.
Yeah, I'm sold on the as bad as it sounds, because I know everyone knows that they're Chinese.
Yep.
The Harbor Freight stuff.
Yep.
I have a Harbor Freight winch on my trailer that gets used on dead batteries.
Yep.
I've had it it's been on my trailer since 2018. It only gets used with dead batteries.
Yep. But
it pulls every time.
The funny thing is it's not the use that kills them. It's the non-use.
Yeah.
When you sink them in the water and they don't get used, everything corrodes.
Yeah, and mine sits out in the elements in the rain on my trailer all the time.
Yep, but it
uncovered,
works.
And it works every time.
Yep.
So I'm sold on them.
But you use it more, and that's the problem. It's remember the old 4-wheel drive? The manual told you every month go lock the front end in and spin everything.
Yeah.
So it lubricates and it doesn't mess up. It's the same thing. If you don't use the winch, it's going to mess up on you.
That's the killers is when you don't use something.
Yeah.
It really kills it. It's a weird balance between you got to use it, but you can't use it too much.
Right. So I hit a rock pretty good the one day we were out doing some stuff, and I bent my metal rim in, and I unseated my tire. Unfortunately, no one had a jack that was with us. We had everything else, but we didn't have a jack. So we used the winch.
We lift it?
We lifted it up in a tree.
That's wild.
Yep. Put a strap up in the tree and put the winch to it and lifted the whole front of the Jeep.
Oh, that was another question I had for you. Speaking of wild, what type of crazy shit have you seen come into this park? Like cars, vehicles? I know you're probably pretty particular about what you allow in, but if you see a Camry on a Jeep chassis...
Well, we've had some of them. I've had an old... one of the old Cruisers. All jacked up,
like a Crown Vic
on 31s. It was pretty cool. I think one of my best and wildest was the Porsche Cheyenne.
Okay,
those
are pretty popular though. At least in the off-road community.
This thing had 6,000 miles on it.
Holy shit!
Full glass roof and a center diff lock.
Did they put it on its roof?
No, it kept up with the Rubicon Jeep.
Yeah,
did everything the Rubicon did.
Yeah, my brother has a Renegade.
Yep.
Like one of the Fiat Renegades, but it's the Trailhawk.
Yep. It's amazing what you can make them do.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing because they have that I call it the ABS lockers.
Yep.
And they just do whatever you want.
All you got to do is learn how to drive them now with the new vehicles with the traction control and the ABS.
It's cheating.
You don't need lockers.
Yeah.
They got them built in. You just got to learn how to use them.
Yeah, even with the Wranglers, like the non-Rubicon Wranglers.
Yep.
I giggle, so I guide for big dogs, and I usually guide the newbies.
Yep.
I giggle when I watch people do shit they couldn't in their brand new Jeep for the first time.
Right.
It's so much fun.
It's a blast. I love showing people how to do stuff, and that's one of the things with the shows I do. That's a lot of what we do.
Do you get into guiding at all?
Because we have to show a lot of these people because they don't go off-road. They just go to these shows, but there's a course. Let's go play.
Yeah.
How do you put it in four-wheel low? You've never done that? No. And the dealerships don't show them.
No, not at all.
So,
and they don't tell you when to put it in four-wheel low or...
Nope.
Yeah.
So it's cool because we get to show a lot of people how to use their vehicles and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, that's one of my draws away from the shows. I know you were talking about shows and it's harder to get people to them and everything. But being in the community for so long and being so versed in it, I have trouble going to Ocean City or Bantam or Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, because it's aimed towards the newer people and training and vendors and everything.
Yep.
So I feel bad. I encourage people to go all the time, but I personally won't go. Like, we went to SEMA this year. It was great. SEMA was awesome. But I think I'll probably do it once every 5 years.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list.
Yeah, SEMA was cool.
I'm hoping this year or next year to get out there. I've always, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to go. Now that I'm in the industry, I have the ability to go.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
So I got to at least go once. But
yeah, what we learned is the guys with the shop, we have DirtNerds Offroad as part of our off-road umbrella. So we're DirtNerds Offroad. We have DirtNerds Motors, and the Dirt Drive podcast is all in one.
Okay.
So DirtNerds Motors went 2 years ago without me. I couldn't make it for some reason. And they did the whole week. And then we went, I guess, was it this year? No, it was because this year is 23. So we went in 22. So we went last year. And I think when we go again, it's so overwhelming, but we've learned how to do it. You go a day and a half for networking and marketing.
Yep.
And then you do the other day and a half for seeing
just
everything.
Walking around and
then you leave before SEMA Fest.
Yep.
Because SEMA Fest is hundreds of thousands of people that are just like car enthusiasts that aren't really in the industry.
Okay.
So you show up Thursday, Friday. If you can get out Saturday by noon and get on an airplane Saturday afternoon, you're good. You miss
all the nuts and all the crazy stuff.
Yeah, it was fun. I would highly suggest going.
Yeah, that's definitely on my bucket list for sure.
And I think we might try and squeeze out, but if we go, like I said, it'll be Thursday to network and probably Friday, and then fly out Friday.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's like there's so many people in the industry, and go see everybody, say hi, and
it's a good opportunity for us to meet new people. And we met Ian Johnson and Dirthead Dave.
Yep, I've worked with Ian Johnson before. I've met him and done stuff, and it's cool. It's wild. That's one of the biggest things. It blows my mind. A lot of people make jokes about me. Oh, you're a celebrity, this, that, or that. I don't think I am by any means. But it's pretty cool when you start talking to people and like, oh, I don't know if you know who I am, and oh yeah, I know you. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's been, we've been doing this for, like I said, a year and 10 weeks, and just like around, someone's like, oh yeah, I know about you. I know what's going on. I'm like, how the fuck do you know who I am? What is going on?
Yep.
I know I have a thing that I produce, but like, you shouldn't know who I am because I'm just some guy.
Right, and that's right. That's the way I look at it too. Is this is my job. This is what I do.
And with Ian, Dirthead Dave, and Fred, we met them. Payway, we met him.
Yep.
They're unbelievably humble.
Well, we've done the 4-wheel drive. The
Ultimate Adventure's been here.
Yes, the Ultimate Adventure's been here. Dave's been here a few times doing some other stuff. The dirt. What's his? The dirt.
Dirthead Shed.
Dirthead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He's been here a couple times. So yeah, it's pretty cool working with a lot of people like that.
Fred is from the area.
Yes.
From Carlisle.
Rick Payway too is up this way.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure his parents live out this way.
Okay.
So that's why he comes out here a whole bunch.
And then Tony Angelo's in Philly. I know he's been out here with he had some crazy build he was just out here in.
Yeah, because Rick Payway would come to Bantam Show all the time.
Okay.
We did the Bantam Show. We did a lot of the stuff for them, built all their stuff and got the new property going. We've been working with them for 10 years.
So you really no days off. You're go.
Yep. Summertimes it's gotten, since COVID, it's gotten a little easier. But yeah, summertimes usually is pretty busy. Then wintertime it kind of slows down. Take my breaks.
So wintertime's the slower season? Yeah. My favorite event to come here is the Blue Mountain Jeep Alliance New Year's Day trail ride.
Oh yeah, I love
because it's quiet.
Yep.
There's usually snow on the ground.
I love snow wheeling.
It's beautiful. It's my favorite time. But I appreciate you sitting down with me.
No, I appreciate you having me.
Really nice to get to know you.
Absolutely.
I've met you a bunch over the years. Yep. I look forward to meeting you again and doing this again.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't bring coffee.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I'm good. I don't drink coffee. I drink Mountain Dew.
I try not to, but I was on vacation last week and I started drinking coffee. I'm like, it's vacation. I can drink coffee again.
I know. No,
because I love the taste, but it keeps me up at night.
I can't stand it. Mountain Dew and chocolate.
Hell yeah.
That's what keeps me going.
Hell yeah. Well, cool, man. Do you have any your social links you want to share for the park for yourself? Where can people find you at?
Rausch Creek Offroad Park. We have the main business page. We also have the Rausch Creek Connection page, which that is made for people to find somebody to go wheeling with, because of course we need at least 2 vehicles to go out, safety reasons and insurance reasons. And then we also have the Rausch Creek Fan Club page.
Okay.
And that's for posting your pictures and, hey, look at what we did and all that kind of stuff. That way we can keep the connections page clean.
Yeah.
And then we're on Instagram. Unfortunately, I just had to create a new one.
I think I tagged you on something this morning. Rausch Creek 2023. Rausch Creek Offroad 23.
We've had one for the last umpteen years, and all of a sudden, Instagram got a hair up their butt and decided to close our account. And I tried to recover it, and I had no avail. So
yeah,
I said, all right, we'll just create a new one.
Yeah, it's wild the monopoly they have on just doing whatever the hell they want.
Yep.
But that's big tech. That's another conversation.
Yep.
Cool.
I do all that stuff too. I do all the.
Oh, you do all your social media?
I do most of the social media. I take care of Google Maps. I do all. I keep that up to date.
Do you do all the mapping stuff
all
too?
The mapping. Yeah. So if there's anybody out there that has a replacement for Maparica, please get a hold of me. I would love to find.
I'm using Gaia GPS.
Well,
I love Gaia.
Something that I can put our maps on.
You can. So you can with Gaia, you can do a shared folder on your website, and they can download the folder to Gaia.
We're going to talk here when we're done then.
Okay. Yeah, I've been using it a lot for the Cove, because the Cove is not mapped at all. Well, so when I have buddies go out there, I share with them my file that I made.
So the problem with Maparica is the iPhone took it off.
Yep.
Because of security issues or whatever. Obviously, the iPhone is very picky of what they use. So you can no longer download it on the iPhones or on the iPads, any of that stuff. Apple took it out.
Probably because it's community share. Yeah.
It's out of date.
Yeah.
They haven't updated security or something, I believe, is what I've seen, because I was digging into it trying to find out. So I'm trying to find a new system so that everybody can use. We have the Onyx maps, which has been pretty good. We've been working with them trying to get things straightened out and get everything up to snuff.
Okay.
So it's been pretty good.
Yeah, Onyx has been awesome. They're really taking over the off-road world too.
Yeah, they've been doing pretty good with it, and been pretty easy to work with for most part with everything too. So.
Oh man. Well, let's talk about Gaia. I'm gonna sign off. Thank you guys for listening. You guys know where to find us: DirtNerds Offroad, DirtNerds Motors, The Dirt Drive, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Thank you for listening. We have much more stuff to come. We're out at Famous Reading. I get that wrong all the time. For the longest time, it was called it Reading, and Blue Mountain Jeep Alliance would do nothing but correct me. So we're out at Famous Reading. The next, I don't know, probably 4 episodes. We're doing interviews with a bunch of different drivers, a bunch of different people. Stay tuned. Check it out. Bunch more stuff to come. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.